right, welcome to the Urban Outdoorsman channel. We have a different video coming to you today. Today is the day we are gonna get our box gardens back up. If you've been a long time subscriber to the channel, you remember our video. We'll put a link down in the description below on that one in case you didn't catch it, but we did a video about these planter wall blocks. They're very, very well made and we did a couple of box gardens with it. Well, we have since moved these box gardens to a different part of our yard, and as you can see, you can kind of see how that's taken shape and what that looks like today. We have some dirt, some garden soil purchased, you know, from like a Lowe's and Home Depot type thing, and we're gonna put these box gardens together to offset the coming food shortages. So, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, we got a lot of work to do. As you see, we got to weed out some of this stuff and kind of make some adjustments. It just rained, so it's a great time to be out here with the dust level being a little lower. As you can see, we got some weeds in here that we got to get rid of, and a little bit of trimming on this peach tree. And we got a couple of citrus fruits back there, some orange trees that we got to redo as well. So stay tuned. We got lots to come on this, and future gardening and box garden type projects. So stick with us, it's gonna be a fun one. All right, we'll be back. So this is gonna be the first step. We needed to clear out the small things in here. We had a little pile of dirt right here that we had to take out, and it's ready. We're gonna pick a couple of weeds, but here's the key to the first step to this, and just an idea that we got off of YouTube on another video that we saw. Using cardboard is the first layer, and what that does is it slows down drainage and also prevents, it's like a weed preventer that's paper based. So over time what happens is this cardboard will absorb water and keep it. So as we water, the roots will actually have a water source a little longer. So the main thing I'm using it for is a weed preventer, at least initially. As you can see, there are weeds in here, and you don't want to use any kind of chemical sprays or anything. That will be really bad for your health if you're using a chemical weed spray in your food source. So we don't really have any of that over here. This has been a pretty chemical free area because we do already have some fruit trees and such over here. So super important, don't use weed killers and such. Use like a cardboard base. There are other things that people use, but I really like just using a good old-fashioned cardboard. This was actually from a shelf that we bought from Costco, and just happens to fit just perfectly in there. So we'll get that in there, and then we're gonna start piling some dirt in there. We're gonna get some soil. So let's get that done and we'll be back. So now we got the box in there, and you could see, I mean, it just fits perfectly in there. If you're curious about what this is, what shelf it was, I mean, if you're getting into prepping or food storage, or you're just buying a shelf for your garage, it is the Whalen shelf from Costco. This is the bigger heavy duty one. They do have it on Amazon. We'll throw a link in the description below if you need it shipped. I believe they do that. So check that out if you want to use the same one. I mean, the good thing is there are two of these, and we have two gardens to use. So it's going to work out perfectly. So like I said, the idea is a weed guard and sort of a sponge-like situation here with the water hitting that cardboard, absorbing and staying. We will poke holes with a screwdriver in there just to keep it a little bit more with draining, because you don't want mold or too much of the garden just filling up with water. That's not good for the plants either. So I know a lot of people in the gardening world, it's become extremely popular as of late to throw sticks and other things in here, and we got a few things that we're going to do. We're going to actually do organic scraps to help the dirt. But if you want a filler, you know, just to help fill this up, you can use logs. Some people use old wood. We don't really have a lot of that. We live in the suburbs, and it's just not something we have readily available just laying around. So we're gonna go with what we have, which is in honor of Earth Day. We're gonna use recycled materials here and help the garden and use less dirt in the process. So stay tuned. We're gonna get this thing going and we'll see where we are next. This is how it's going to start. We just put a little bit more cardboard in there. We're not going to go overboard with the cardboard, but it does make a difference. It does, especially on the water saving. Gonna put all the rest of this dirt in there and we'll be done with this part, and then we'll be ready for irrigation. That's the next step. We need to run a drip line from under that fence, and then we'll see if we can squeeze in this garden today. As you can see, the sun starting to creep in. It's gonna get a little warm out here, so we're gonna try to finish this off before it gets too late. All right, so as you can see, this is how it's gonna start. We just put a little bit more cardboard in there. We're not gonna go overboard with the cardboard, but it does make a difference. It does, especially on the water saving. Gonna put all the rest of this dirt in there and we'll be done with this part, and then we'll be ready for irrigation. That's the next step. We need to run a drip line from under that fence, and then we'll see if we can squeeze in this garden today. As you can see, the sun starting to creep in. It's gonna get a little warm out here, so we're gonna try to finish this off before it gets too late. All right, as you can see, we got most of the dirt that we want in here. Now we're gonna add some vegetable scraps and some coffee grounds. Just a little mix here. Gonna crumble these up a little more because they're a little too chunky, and then we'll shred them up and just put them in there and mix in. It's good for the garden. Look it up. Eggs, onions, and potato scraps. Really good for the garden. Just another one of many things you can do to improve the health of your dirt and to ensure that you have a nice healthy soil for the growth of your vegetables and whatever else you're growing. So as you can see, we are done mixing the dirt. We're gonna start out with this level of a dirt. You can see how much room we're leaving. You know, in the past we would have brought up the dirt all the way to the top here, but we're saving a little bit of money and resources for our other garden too. We have one right behind us. So we're gonna try this out. I'm sure we're gonna be adding dirt as things compact when you water it. For sure it's gonna do that. This will drop quite a bit, but this is more than enough to get the seeds going. And like I said, we'll add some dirt in there as needed down the line. If we need it, we'll get some more in here. So that's where we're at. We're almost time to plant some seeds, and it'll be up and running here today. So exciting stuff. All right, here are the seed choices for the initial garden. We're gonna do some zucchini, aka summer squash, and we're gonna do some straight necks and onion, some green onion, some bell peppers, little carrot action. Here's some more green onions. We like the different varieties. Some of them are a little thinner and greener and just kind of better for barbecuing and stuff. So we'll have some different varieties. We got some cilantro, a little bit of basil, and some dill. That's gonna be the first box, and then we're gonna do a second one with some other options. We'll get to that second box in a little bit. Let's get these in the dirt. So on a few of these, you may have noticed the price points. I mean, this one, 4 for $1. These are Dollar Tree seeds. Some of these are high-end, straight out of Lowe's or Home Depot, like some organic stuff. But you can get some really cheap options. I mean, 59 cents for a pack. And I highly recommend just get them all. Don't worry about it. But if you see deals where you can get, you know, 4 for $1, go for it. All right, here we have our rows for carrots. We're gonna tighten up the space a little bit more than we probably should. The wife came up with this great idea. This is an old eggshell holder from the store. I think at Costco we get these, but you could poke them into the dirt and it gives you your spacing. You could also use those pointy sides. So for example, on this side, you could push this side down and on certain soils and it gives you the little rows. It's just a guideline. I mean, you're going to end up covering up what you do anyway because you got to bury the seeds, but for these carrots it's about a ½ inch deep and loose soil, so you don't want to go too far down or they'll never germinate. All right, as you can see, we have cleared out the second of the box gardens. This one is already all planted, ready to go. So we are going to move on to this one. We just have to add our cardboard and we'll be ready for some soil. Good times. All right, we are going to conclude this video. Here's the update. So this is where we're at. We decided to move some of the dirt from this side over here because we wanted to get these tomatoes in the ground to save them. They were purchased at the dollar store. They're non-GMO, pretty good price on that for a started plant. They were looking a little withered in the pot, so had to get them in the ground today, and we'll buy the rest of this dirt here real soon and then plant the rest of our garden. Pretty similar in size, but as you can see, they are mostly done. We are going to end up adding some dirt to both of these for sure. And here's a little tour of the rest of it. Here's our peach tree. This was actually here when the house was purchased, and it's grown quite a bit. I say it's about, I don't know, 8.5, 9 feet tall now. But we're going to trim it up a little bit. Probably a little late to trim it, but we are going to trim it anyway. There's some dead stuff right in here. But it is already getting peaches on it, so we are in the fruiting already. Here are some orange trees that we have, a couple of citrus trees. Really hoping these expand. We have a lot of groves near our house, but we're gonna get our own, you know, just nice to have your own. And we know that these are fully organic. These actually were a very expensive variety. We'll talk about these in another video. But here's some spare pots and stuff that we are gonna basically end up using. We're gonna have them along the fence for some starter stuff, some spare wood for some other garden boxes and stuff. This is an old dog, it was like a dog, basically a dog pen. Of course, our dog Liberty, we had to put her down a little bit ago, and she never really got to use this, so it's kind of a shame. But we're probably going to get another dog here soon, and when we do, this will come in real handy. For now, it helps shade the tower that's in there. There's a sprinkler tower, and those things have a tendency to rot. So that's a little tour of the side garden here. And these planter wall blocks, we're going to do a full update on these and we'll talk about different options that are now available for these. So if gardening and those kinds of things interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back another time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. It was a great time. Love the family. Get out there and garden with your kids, your wife, your husband, whoever. Get out there and do it. It's a lot of fun, very rewarding, and in the long time can save you some money and bring you some food. So anyway, we're out of here for now. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.